Well, I want to welcome you to Overtime, where we take Sunday's conversation further and deeper. And this last Sunday, Jordan did such a remarkable job talking about listening and how we can get in a position to listen to one another. And as he was talking, I thought about something that's been so remarkably helpful for me in terms of listening. And I hope it's also helpful for you. Several years ago, I came across something that Brené Brown, who's a famous author, speaker, researcher, and she talks about relationships all the time, that has been so helpful. And here's what she said. She said, if I could give men and women in relationship and leaders and parents one relational hack, I would give them these 5 words: the story I'm making up. Meaning, as I'm listening to you or attempting to listen to you, as I'm reading your body language and then mixing that with all of my feelings, I'm also telling myself a story. I'm making up a narrative. And one of the best things you could possibly do is to actually pause and to say to that other person, the story I'm making up is, or oftentimes I'll say it this way, the story I'm telling myself is. And when you tell them, that's honest, that's transparent, and frankly, vulnerable, but it can be a game changer. In fact, several months ago, Jill and I were on the porch talking one evening after work, and we had a communication gap that was turning into a relational gap. And I could feel the tension, and Jill could also feel the tension. And so Jill went first, and she said, babe, the story I'm telling myself is, I'm not worth listening to, that you don't care about what I care about, and that your view on money is more important than mine. As soon as I heard that, I thought 2 things. First, I thought, wow, that was brave and incredibly vulnerable. And secondly, I thought, that's simply not the case, that's really my fault. And I told Jill, I said, babe, I'm so sorry, because here's the deal. At work, something came up that was really, really hurtful, and I didn't want to bring that home because I didn't want to relive that whole story. And that's my fault. I should have told you earlier about it, but it's all I can think about right now in our conversation. And I'm telling you, those 5 words, they saved our night. Those 5 words brought us together. Those 5 words closed the communication gap. And so many times in my marriage relationship, with my sons, at work, I've used these 5 words, the story I'm making up, and they have closed the gaps in miscommunication and ultimately brought us closer together. So next time you're beginning to sense a relational gap, a communication gap, pause, take a deep breath, be brave and say, the story I'm making up right now is, and then share that. And yes, it's a risk, but it's a risk worth taking.